evening, everyone. And it's Tuesdays with Mental Catalyst again. Thank you for being here and spending your evening with me. Thank you also for being with me last week, Tuesday. And I look forward to today's session. Last week was about the graduation party, of which I will start by, recapping some of the lessons that, one learned from it, and basically then proceed after that. So, from the graduation party, it was essentially about, when you're getting into an endeavor, a business activity or any form with somebody, ensure that your goals and objectives are aligned. You guys are on the same bus or train. There's a lot of mutual respect. And there's also no ego at play. Leave ego at home. Don't bring it to the relationship. And also learn to share credit where it belongs. And credit does not belong to just the key promoters, but it belongs to everybody who's been part of it, irrespective of rank and file. But most importantly, always get the ladies involved. I've realized over my life that, when you have ladies by your side, they actually really help you succeed because they don't get as emotional as we do. They don't get as bullish as we do. They are very practical. They are focused. They are consistent. And the motherly instinct that God has put in them allows them to do things and see things from different angles as compared to we guys. So guys, anytime you're doing something, ensure that you have a good woman by your side, or you have a couple by your side whereby they guide and they help you. Okay? So those are some of the lessons that I hope some of you have learned from our first session. Today's is entitled My First Dance with Failure, and anytime I reflect, it gives me the kicks. I was privileged enough to actually attend one of the very good primary schools in Ghana, the Morning Star School in Cantonment. I think I went there kindergarten all the way to class 7, and it was pretty interesting. It was a good school. We had everything provided for us, very good teachers. My family was very close to the proprietors, Mrs. Cerebral, and my uncle and my auntie had supported her right from the formation of the school. So we're very, very close. And I remember in class 7, when we had to go sit for common trans and then select secondary schools, I had wanted to go to GIS or Achimota School. That was my personal choice. And I remember vividly seated in Mrs. Cerebral's office with my dad and her, and she was like, I think Weku should go to a boys' school. He should not go to a mixed school, a co-ed school. So that meant that Achimota and Ghana International School was out of the question. So she and my dad, without my input, decided that I should choose a Catholic school. I should go to a Catholic school, which was St. Augustine's College. So we sat for common entrance, and I think my results were just average, nothing to write home about. And actually got admission to St. Augustine's College in Cape Coast, right by the ocean, beautiful breeze, really nice place. I remember when I got in there Form 1, the very first week, seniors started calling me Kwame Nkrumah because of my receding headline. They thought I looked like our first president. So up to today, some of those seniors still, tease me and call me Kwame Nkrumah, So as we all do, you go in there and the seniors will bully you and you have to figure out how to survive, right? My dad used to be the number 2 guy in the Nations Food Bank, Ghana Food Distribution, and they were responsible for getting food across the country and stuff like that. And Ghana Food Distribution used to have these yellow trucks, and everybody knew that they were trucks that, conveyed food and moved food around, provisions, you name it. So every 2 weeks, the regional manager in Central Region then will come to campus, come to school, and then make sure that my chop box was refilled. And anytime the seniors saw that the truck was there, oh my goodness, you can imagine the punishment that I would get. But I also learned how to bribe seniors by, giving them pieces of, sardines and tuna and Milo and condensed milk and, scoop a little bit Gary for them, just for them to leave me alone and protect me. So come from Form 3, that's when we had to start choosing, the kind of serious subjects we wanted to do. I think there were like 3 key areas, that is science, arts, and then business. And I attempted to actually do science. I remember buying the science books at Port Lambert and Modimbo, that's what they used to call it back in the day. And anytime I took a science book, for example, and I read, I read the word atom or enzymes. I just couldn't understand what they meant. No matter what I did, I just could not figure out anything about science. So I quickly realized that, look, science was not good for me. And then arts too, I didn't really like it because there's too much reading, too much literature, and I didn't really like it either. So then I was left with business. So I said, well, you know what, I'm going to do business, of which you had accounting, economics, commerce, and stuff like that. So I became a business student, and this whole time, from Form 1 to Form 3 upwards, my grades went just average. Sometimes I could be at the bottom, not like last, but last quadrant. And I think the best I ever did was first quadrant, top 10. I was in there. I think that was just a rare occurrence. But the rest I would be in the middle, So I was just kind of floating. So Form 3 we went to Form 5, and we start for the O levels. And the O levels is where you sit, and then from there you go to 6th form. You do 2 years. From there you go to university. So we sat, we graduated, we came home, and we were waiting for the results. I remember so well, it was a Friday evening. My dad came home. The body language was totally different. Then word had come out that the results were out. So I remember 6 a.m. Normally, if my parents want to talk to me or they need my attention, 6 a.m. they'll call for me. So my mom came for me that my dad wanted to see me. So I went up. There was so much tension in the room. And my dad was like, have you seen your results? And I said, no. And then he took a folder, handed me my result slip, and I realized he was shaking. My mom was quiet, seated. And I looked at my results, and boy, my whole world was turned upside down. One is supposed to get a minimum of 6 in English and math to be able to go to 6th form. I got 6 in English and 8 in math. I think the most was out of 9. So basically, look, I flunked. And what that meant was my future was uncertain. Now here I was with my slip in my hands, staring at my mom, staring at my dad, and everybody was quiet. Then my dad said, okay, go and think about what you want to do. Guys, for the next 2 weeks, it was hell. My dad will not talk, my mom will not talk. There was so much tension at home. I felt disappointment. I realized I had disappointed them. Within that 2 weeks, I remember an uncle telling me that, Michael, your dad has been successful. Everybody considers him successful. He's done well for himself. But before he can truly be considered successful, his son has to be successful. And if you're not, your father cannot be considered successful. And it hit me hard, and it was painful because I know my dad had done his time and he did all he could do for the community, for anybody, and everybody knew he was a good man. So why would my success, failure, whatever, define who how he's defined? So I had to do a lot of reflection. But the good thing was that a good number of my friends also didn't do well. But some of them also just barely got by, and they got 6, like math 6, English 6, and then they got a chance to proceed. So after 2 weeks, another Saturday, 6 a.m., I was summoned over to the bedroom. I went in there. My dad was like, okay, what do you want to do? I looked at him, standing with my hands behind my back, not out of fear, but out of love and respect. And I said, you know what, I want to take it again. I said, you just want to waste my money. You had everything that you needed. You had all the private teachers. You went to the best schools. So what is going to be different? I was there. My mom had bowed down her head. I could see tears in her eyes. It was very heartbreaking. I said, Daddy, kindly allow me to take it again. He looked at me and he asked me, what do you need? I said, I need to get some private teachers, at least 3 different teachers, math, economics, accounting. I said, okay, are you sure? I said, yes. Please, I added please. Then, being the resourceful and good dad that he is, and was, he actually got me into Accra Academy, Form 5. And that was rare because you don't really get entry into another school, and during that time of the semester, you don't really get that. But my dad got me in there, and when I got into Akaraka Form 5, my mates were now in 6 from lower 6, and they were wearing khaki pants and green shirt. Also, I was wearing khaki shorts, and I think our shirt was creamish of sort. It was very humiliating and very humbling. But I said to myself, you know what? It's all good. I brought it upon myself. And honestly, I did not understand why I went to school. Right from primary school to secondary school, I had no idea why I was going to school. I had no idea. I had to stop all sorts of chilling. No boys, no chicks. I had to stop everything. And I had to commit to studying. So I found this great teacher, Kofi Apo, is on Facebook. Kofi, I can never thank you enough. He was a teacher at Wesley Grammar. He used to teach business. I would go in the evenings after school and he would teach me accounting and commerce. In the mornings, there was a guy who used to come there to also come to be taught. It's called Kojo Asase. Kojo is my brother, my dear friend. I love him to bits. Kojo was an athlete, very, very competitive. And I knew the guy was very sharp because Kofi would always tell me that Kojo is very sharp. He's brilliant. And I used to envy him. So one time I told Kojo that, you know what, since we are both sitting for the O levels together, we're going to compete. We're going to see who's going to come on top. So there was a healthy competition between us. Long and short, after a whole year, we resat the O levels. We're all at home waiting for the results. And I remember very well, one Friday evening, I think it was on Wednesday, had announced that the results were out. Friday evening, I was home when my dad's chief of staff, Mr. Kwasi Inkum, it's also on Facebook. It's a man that I owe so much to. He came to me in the evening, after he dropped my mom off at home. He said, Miller, today Papa sent 3 of us. First, he sent me to go to WAEC. That's the examination council that is responsible for exams. Papa sent me to WAEC to go and check on your results. When I came back with your results, Papa said, why did he connive with me to fake the results? He proceeded to say, you know what, I want to send somebody else. He got one of his other managers, sent him also to WAEC. The guy came back with results. By late afternoon, my dad was not convinced. He still sent another manager to go to WAEC. So in all, my dad had 3 sets of results with him. All of this, Kwasi didn't know what the results were. So as much as I had wanted to know from him, he wouldn't say, because I knew that the following Saturday morning at 6 a.m., I was going to get a call. So that was my longest night. Lo and behold, yes, I was called. I went in there. My dad said, sit down. This time he didn't ask me to stand, asked me to sit. I could see a smirk and some soft smile on my mom's face. She was trying so hard to contain her excitement, even though I didn't know what was up. And my dad asked me, have you seen your results? I said, no. Guys, it was nerve-wracking. I wasn't sure what was there. He handed me a folder. And there were the results. I got a distinction. Then, they actually use your best 6 subjects. So if you're really, really good, you get 6 ones. And distinction is between 6 to 12. I actually got grade 12. And guess what? My good friend Kojo Asase got 11. He beat me in English. I got distinction. My dad was like, what did you do? How did you do it? I just looked at him and I said, I am sorry that I put you guys through this. I honestly didn't know why I was going to school. He looked at me, walked to his little counter in the room where he keeps his keys and stuff, comes back to me and hands me over a key to his BMW EP 3211 325 metallic green. said, "This is yours." I was happy. I felt a heavy burden lifted off me. At that point, my mom couldn't contain her joy. She hugged me with tears dripping. I wiped them off and I said, "It's all good." And I apologized again, but you know what, guys, I'm sorry. I just didn't know. At that point, my father was all smiling. And for the first time, he called me by my nickname, Don, for the very first time. And I knew that at that point, he was proud. So before I left the room, I said, "Guys, I need a favor. I need you guys to promise me one thing, that you're going to live long and be healthy to see what I'm going to become. This will never happen again." I left the room with my key in my pocket, reflecting upon what had happened. And guys, failure is only when you accept it. Setbacks are part of humanity and our lives. I will never consider myself a sharp guy, a brainy guy, a nerdy guy, or whatever. I'm just an ordinary guy. But that setback, that disappointment, taught me a lesson. And the lesson is this: your life belongs to you. And you are in total control. Never allow anybody to define you. And never settle. Those who know me know that I always have fire within me. The reason why I'm always on the move is because I don't want to be in that situation again. If it was just about me, I think I would have been okay. But why other people are affected just because of my inability, that was unacceptable. The good Lord in heaven created this earth and the universe, the beautiful stars, the ocean, the valleys, the mountains, all the beautiful things we see and admire, the air we breathe. And He made us, or He created us in His own image. And what that means is that we have something in us that when we truly tap into it, the sky is the limit. So guys, never settle. Never settle. Yes, people will look at you and tag you as failure. People will shun you. People will abandon you. People will hate you. People will say mean things. But it's all right. It's all right. Know thyself. From that experience, the lion within me was unleashed. The eagle within me controls the skies and the clouds. I said to myself, never would I ever be in a situation where I'm not on top. That was my first dance with failure. Now, there's a big difference between failure and failing. Failing is a process. You cannot achieve great things without failing. And what that means is that anytime you fall, you've got to get up. If you fall 8 times, you got to get up the 9th time. And in no circumstance should you stay down. Do whatever it takes to get up. But when you don't get up, that is when you have failed. And you owe it to yourself and your God to honor Him by being the best you can be. That was my first dance with failure. And from there, I've never looked back. Next week, we're going to meet again. And we're going to have a good time. I'm so grateful for those who have tuned in and those who also watch the recorded version. I want you guys to enjoy your lives. Allow yourselves to be you. Live your lives on your terms. It's okay to be down. It's okay to be blue. But don't dwell there. That's not your place. Life is beautiful when you find your true life's purpose. So until we meet again, take care, keep safe, and keep loving. Thank you so much, and I love you guys.